Hi guys, I'm Stacy. I'm 15 years old and I'm an ordinary high school student, but I was a quite outstanding and well-known girl in everyone's eyes. Although I didn't stand out in school activities and I didn't have a special appearance, but I knew how to socialize and play with influential people in school, so I was one of them quite quickly. My group of friends consists of 5 people. They were well known for their good looks and fancy fashion taste. Among them, the most outstanding is Lily, the most beautiful and famous girl in the school. All the boys want to have her, and the girls always wish they looked like her. Lily is sometimes very mean. She always likes to tease people who she thinks they are not outstanding. There were times when she poured an expired yogurt into the backpack of a dumb friend named Harry. She laughed out loud and said that he smelled when yogurt spilled all over his belongings. However, no matter how mean Lily is, it wasn't a problem to me, because I like to be Lily's friend and I also like to be famous. But then everything changed again at Lily's party. After most people had left, only a group of 5 of us. There was also Zach, my favorite friend. We were all quite drunk, so when Lily announced it was time to play Truth or Dare, we all agreed. Sam was the first player, and he chose to tell the truth instead of the dare. He had to answer a very embarrassing question about his sex life. It was awkward to answer such questions. So when it was my turn, I chose a dare. Lily knew I liked Zach, so I hope her dared me to kiss him, but she didn't and gave me another challenge. Stacy, you've got exactly a week to go out with a coward Harry in class, or you're going to have a real challenge. Believe me, it's really bad. I was shocked at what she had said. She was kidding me? If you complete this challenge, we can make fun of him in public. Imagine how fun it would be at the time. After saying that, she laughed happily, and everyone else looked at me as if they were expecting something interesting, so I had to take this challenge. Okay, it's simple, I replied. I was a little bit nervous about taking on the challenge, and I didn't know how to flirt with Harry because I'd never even talked to him. I took the challenge on Saturday, and I didn't see Harry until I went to school on Monday, so my day flew. Soon after that challenge, I tried to find him on social media, but I couldn't find him on any website. He was weird. Who didn't have a social account, I thought? On Monday morning, while I was going to class, I accidentally bumped into Harry standing next to his locker and dropped my books. I apologized and smiled at him. He blushed and bent down to help me pick up the books that fell on the ground and gave them to me. The next day, I tried to talk to him after English class. He seemed like he wanted to talk to me, but then his friend Martin came and dragged him away. She even muttered to Henry, "Don't get along with her." Martin was a big guy with dyed hair and dark eyeliner, so he was Lily's top target of teasing. I realized that if I wanted to finish this challenge, I had to make dumb people like Harry and Martin think I was like them. So I talked to my team and started my plan. At lunchtime, when I came to the table where we always sat, Sam stood with his arms crossed. "You're not welcome here," she yelled at my face. "That's right, you're imitating us, Stacy," Lily said to me and winked, pretended to be sad and stormed away. When I came to Harry's table, I burst into tears and put down my tray next to him. My face was on the table and I pretended to cry. I will not say that my plan was successful and my friends ignored me for the rest of the week while I had a chance to date with Harry. At first, I hated flirting with Harry because he was quiet and weird, and he wore a gray t-shirt with a neck for 3 continuous days. But then a few strange things happened that gave me a different perspective on him. When I was stuck with my math homework, he taught me to understand it. He even bought me a chocolate cake that I liked during break time to cheer me up. And when I wore my favorite flower dress that Lily had criticized me for wearing before, he complimented me. I looked beautiful on that dress. I felt like I loved him more and more. Harry and I opened my heart to him, and I also told him about my family, that my father had an affair with my neighbor, and family life was a nightmare for me. It was already Friday, and I started to feel nervous. I couldn't fail this challenge because it was all the efforts I'd made in the previous week. After school, I was on my way back home. While I was walking and thinking about the challenge which made me nervous, depressed, and scared, suddenly someone called my name. I turned around and saw Harry running after me. "Stacy, can I have a date with you tonight?" he said. I saw that he was very shy and worried when he asked me. But after I heard his love confession, I felt relieved and shouted yes. We met up at a restaurant. After I agreed, he seemed to be happy, but I was sad. I showed up on a date in my best dress, and Harry wore a shirt. He looked pretty cute in that outfit. Before we walked into the restaurant, Lily and other friends in my group jumped out in a nearby corner and they laughed and pointed at him. Zach even filmed everything on his phone. Harry looked confused and looked at me with his wonder. I unwillingly laughed and mimicked his gestures. At that time, Harry understood everything. He left and he looked very sad and embarrassed. After that day, Zach's video was posted and spread throughout the social network. It quickly became a hot topic at school. Then Harry didn't even look at my face while I tried to apologize to him, but he just slammed the door of his locker and left. Maybe he'd already hated me. I couldn't blame him because everything was happening to me and my friends. But the problem was that the more I thought about Harry, the more I felt like he was not a coward. Unlike others, he was a bit quiet, but he was smart, funny, and cute guy. I probably already liked him, and I thought he had feelings for me too. However, I started it first, and I was the one who made fun of him in front of the crowd. I don't know what to do now. I don't know whether I should try to apologize and explain why I did this to him, or we will keep on ignoring each other. You know, most girls were obsessed with gaining weight. They always think that fat meant ugly. Trust me, beauty was not something that determined everything. Sometimes being fat was also an advantage. Trust me. I was also a girl with a fat body, but that didn't stop me from winning over the hearts of the most well-known boys in high school. Listen to my stories if you don't believe me. Hi everyone, I'm Lisa. I'm 15 years old. I was teased by people about my weight when I was young. They used to call me Fatty Lisa, a hateful nickname. It was not funny when someone called me by that nickname, but I got so used to it that I didn't want to resist when being called like that. And as I attended high school, I realized that my differences about my look weren't not only the target of those who always picked on others, but also a huge obstacle to blend in the school. If you consider high school as a small medieval society, it is the place where you can find the most obvious class division in the cafeteria. Just by looking at the seating position, you can know who controlled the school. Right in the middle of the cafeteria is the most prestigious table. It is the seat for the dominant class. There are all the famous students in the school, the club leaders, and Eric, the most handsome guy in our grade, was also my crush. Unlike the arrogant people sitting at the table, Eric was always friendly and kind to people, even though he never remembered my name. The girl sat behind him for 3 years in biology class. Back to the other classes, it is the table for rich children. Next, the tables on the left for the Asian students and the right for the Christian students. And my seat is a table for the losers next to the trash can. However, it isn't that bad because at least I sit next to my best friend, Joan. Joan is a bookworm. Like me, Joan is on the list of losers. No matter how people underestimate us, we are always happy with our humor. We always come up with fun tricks to tease each other whenever we are sad. There was another member, Sam. She used to be isolated because of her acne-filled face. But miraculously, after a successful summer of puberty, Sam returned to school with a gorgeous and hot look. That was why she abandoned us to sit at the same table with well-known students in school. I was sad that she didn't talk much with us since Sam had new friends. I felt like I'd lost a friend. One day, Sam suddenly texted me and Joan. She wanted to invite us to the upcoming Halloween party at her house. This year's makeup concept was funny and silly. Joan and I were very excited when we were invited by an old friend. I thought maybe Sam didn't forget us and the 3 of us would get back together again. Joan and I quickly came up with a funny costume because it was our specialty. Joan dressed up like a potato bag. I dressed up as a hamburger with my chubby appearance. We looked at ourselves in the mirror and burst into laughter because our appearance looked so hilarious. On Halloween night, Joan and I went to Sam's house. We were happy to go there, but as soon as the door opened, I realized that I had made a serious mistake. Everyone at the party was paying attention to us. This year's makeup concept was not funny one, as Sam said, but this year's concept was dressing up as elegant ladies and gentlemen. Our clothes suddenly became a ridiculous thing at the party. I looked angrily at Sam, and she looked at us with a sarcastic smile. It turned out until now that her main purpose that day was to make fun of us, and all the things that she wanted to prove to her new friends that she wasn't close to the losers like us. I froze there because I was so surprised. But at that time, the song of Michael Jackson's Thriller was playing, and Joan started dancing to the beat. He also gave me the signal to dance along with him. I did what he told me to do. We entered the middle of the dance floor and began to dance crazily. The crowd also got excited. They laughed loudly and danced with us. The awkward atmosphere of the beginning suddenly became more happy. After the song, people cheered us up. They even said our clothes were funny. I saw Joan felt relieved with a breathe because we were lucky not to turn into hilarious things for everyone to laugh. However, what I didn't expect the most was that my crush Eric noticed me. He approached me and complimented me for the funny dance and even asked for my phone number. After that day, Eric and I became closer. We talked a lot every evening. We spent a lot of time together at school. And I didn't eat with Joan anymore, but I chose to eat with Eric. But Sam didn't seem to be happy about it. She always showed an unpleasant attitude when Eric and I act friendly. Maybe I also figured out why Sam liked Eric and she was jealous of me. Sam's jealousy grew bigger when she hurt me again. That day, a friend in the class found out that he had lost his wallet. She wanted to check each person's bag to find it. When I searched my bag, I found a friend's wallet in it. I was very surprised that I didn't take it, and I didn't understand why it was in my bag. Despite my explanation, people still thought I was a thief. When I was taken to the principal's room, Joan ran to me. He stormed into the room and gave the principal a tape to clear me of the crime. The tape showed that Sam took a friend's wallet and put it in my bag. Soon, Sam had to pay for her actions. She was suspended from school. I suddenly became a celebrity at school. The people at the prestigious table started talking to me. They even invited me to eat with them. Everyone there was interested in me, even though they were willing to tease me all the time before that. But that also made Eric closer to me. I was so happy to sit with him. It was an honor for me to sit next to these famous friends, but I felt more alienated. I didn't feel the truth in their words. It made me miss Joan, especially after what he did to me. I hadn't talked much with Joan since I got to know Eric, and I felt sorry for abandoning him. During lunchtime at the cafeteria, Eric suddenly asked me to be his girlfriend. I should have been excited about it, but now my eyes were only aiming at Joan. He was sitting alone at our loser table. My heart was filled with an indescribable feeling. I realized that it was Joan who I liked. He was always with me, even when I was ugly or in trouble. The feeling I had for Eric was just admiration, not love. I immediately turned down Eric's offer and returned to the table for losers with Joan. I confessed my feelings to him, and I was surprised that Joan also had feelings for me. He said he had liked me for a long time. Joan and I have recently dated, and we are very happy. So, now you believe that being fat is also an advantage. Hi, my name is Lilia. I've just turned 12. I am quiet and close-mouthed. I don't have any friends. I was always afraid of interacting with other people around me. You are wondering why I am like that? Let me tell you about my incident in my childhood. Bye, my auntie. I waved my hand. I promise you to stay at home obediently. Good girl, I'll be back soon. Then she went to buy something. This was Erin, my neighbor. My parents had her take care of me when they were traveling. After saying bye to Aunt Erin, I closed the front door and got back to the living room. Then suddenly the doorbell rang, so I immediately rushed to it. Seeing through a hole, I froze. It was my mom. I quickly opened the door. My mom stepped to me and embraced me. I wondered, Mom, why do you come home so early? Soon my mom gently replied, Oh, my honey, I come back to pick you up. Why can I leave my little princess at home alone? Come one, Pack your clothes up, then we will leave." I looked at my mom with confusion. "But Erin is at the grocery store. Do we have to wait for her?" She shook her head. "No, we don't need to wait for her. I just called her." So my mom and I quickly packed our belongings. Then my mom took me to an old car, which is different from our BMW. I asked Mom, "Mom, where's Dad? It's not our car." She bent over my face. With a smile, she said, "Dad is waiting for us at the beach. It might be fun." I jumped up with happiness. I was anticipating to build a love castle and play in the sea at the beach. Wow, so exciting! On my way, I fell asleep. When I woke up, the weather became dark. Getting off my car, I looked around and wondered where the beach was. All I could see was a small house in a strange town. "This is our new home. Now only you and I live there." Listening to my mom's words, I felt awake. "Mom, why? And what about Dad?" I sputtered. "Listen to me. I cannot explain to you right now. There are things that adults only know." That time, a lot of thoughts came across my head, but when looking at my mom's face, I knew I shouldn't ask her anything. The next morning, I woke up full of energy and curiosity about my new place. I opened the curtain. I saw a group of kids same as my age playing together on the other side of the street. So without a second thought, I barged out to join them. "Hi, I'm Lilia." Suddenly, my mom rushed to me with fear. "I told you to stay at home." Then she dragged me home. Of course, everyone stared at me, even the old man next door. What a shame. Closing the door, my mom said with her serious voice, "We've just moved here. You don't have to be hurried to make friends, and don't talk much about yourself." In the past, my mom had not cared about who I got along with, but now why did she do that? How irrational. Since then, my mom only let me go out when I went to school and always kept her eyes on me. So I didn't make any friends there. I was so angry at my mom and felt so lonely. But the good thing is that my mom didn't set any rules. I could watch cartoons all day, ate snacks without prohibition. Before moving to this place, my parents had allowed me to do anything like that. But watching films a lot seemed to be tedious to me. I felt bad and craved for spaghetti with a special crab sauce made by my mom, so I begged her to make the food. After a while, I went down to the kitchen to have dinner. I saw the kitchen look so messy. Pots, pans were everywhere in the kitchen. My mom looked so messy too. She gave me spaghetti with meatballs, not the food she often made. I felt strange, but the food was quite good, so I took a big bite while my mom's eyes were on me. "Water, I need some water. OMG, it's so salty." She quickly changed the spaghetti with meatballs into a pizza. She said, "Today I was so busy that I was a bit forgetful. Sorry, my love." Her confusing expression made me laugh. "It's okay, Mom." My mom seemed to be really busy recently. Her phone rang all the time. There were some calls when I fell asleep at night. So she had to pick up the phone silently. Maybe being a single mom is not easy. So I always tried to understand all those things, and time went by like that. I got used to staying at home without any friends. But I still sat next to the window and often watched the kids playing outside. One time, I was sitting dully by the window. My mom stepped to me and asked if I wanted to go to the park near my house. What an exciting thing to do! I jumped up, clapped my hands with excitement, and hugged my mom. In fact,